Hey everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all very well. Welcome to the Citizen channel as we have a match review today, a big match review. Not the greatest one again, was it? Manchester City versus West Bromwich Albion, played at the Etihad on the 15th of December 2020, an 8 PM kickoff. Of course, we're still with no fans, and we're still waiting to see if there'll be any fans anytime soon, but fingers crossed. But that's another story, isn't it? Whether people want to go or whether they don't want to go. Yeah, we're going to have our usual features today. Highlights and lowlights of the game. Not many highlights, obviously. Match talking points, some match stats, quirky stats. Again, nothing exciting there, unfortunately. Pep watch here till 2023. Possibly, perhaps, who knows, watch today. And I'm going to do our last Rodri's rocket watch because I'm sick of him. He had 3 attempts last night and then they were pretty, nowhere near. So I'm going to do a last Rodri's in honour of Rodri. I'll do a last Rodri's rocket watch. We'll just hope dropping this from this thing will inspire him to actually get one on target one day. So because he did have I think it was 3 last night. So there you go. Of course, we'll have the player ratings, Simon Pekowski's Manchester Evening News, and my own player ratings. Don't make great reading. Some of the media headlines and comments, a couple of things on Twitter, a couple of things one or two things that made me sort of chuckle as well, which is always nice after a game like last night. I was so frustrated when that game finished. I can't, if I came on here after it, I mean, obviously I checked a couple of guys who do live vlogs and they were sort of, I could echo their feeling because if I'd come straight on here after the game, I would have been so frustrated. But, having slept on it now, I'm still frustrated, but I'm nowhere near as bad as I was last night. Yeah, so please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications, and tell your friends, City supporting friends about this. That'd be fantastic. I've got some links on screen there as well for my Facebook and Twitter. So if you want some followers and friends on there, just stick that in your thing, and I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. And if you look at my playlist, I do little things on films and TV as well. I do reviews of films and drama, some poster reviews even, quizzes, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that or know someone who might be interested in that, please give them a little nudge in my direction as well. All more subscribers the merrier. I'd be very, very appreciative of that. Right, City versus the Baggies, the old Baggies. First of all, a little mention, I do know City have a mascot, don't they, for the home games. I've not really noticed for the away games, but Florence Temple was the mascot for last night. She's aged 8. And I believe, just looking at her details, she attended a game at 3 years old, and her favourite players, Gabby Jesus, followed by Aguero, I think, is the second favourite. I mean, she's originally from Failsborough, but I've seen some lovely pictures of where they live now in Spain. It's about 20-odd degrees the other day. I was so jealous. She lives in Spain with her mum. Her dad's a United fan, but obviously her mum's brought her over to our side. So she went to her first match at 3 years old. So obviously, it's not a case of my father said to me one day, is it? It was obviously my mother said to me one day, so it's really nice to see. I mean, even in this digital age, I mean, obviously, it'd be great for Florence Sat, and it's really nice to see that City do that, which is a nice touch, as I say. Me and my match programmes, they only do a digital one, but it's nice. She gets a little mention in that as well. So if you can check onto the digital programme on the City site, if it's still there, I don't know when they take it off, to be honest with you. If it's still there, have a look at lovely Florence Temple, and well done to the young girl. Right, City starting lineup, 4 changes to the United game. Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Ake, Mendy, Rodrigo, Gundogan, De Bruyne as captains, Sterling, Foden and Jesus on the bench. Stefan, Walker, Aguero, Laporte, Bernardo, Torres and Mahrez. My lineup, if you look at my lineup, I got 8 right. I was quite impressed with that, actually, because I thought I went a bit off the wall with this one. I thought he'd play a bit more of the guys who played against United, but I got 8 correct. So, because I had Ederson, Cancelo, Laporte, Ake, Mendy, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, Bernardo, Torres and Jesus. So we don't know what's happened with Stones. I've not seen anything. I've had a quick look on Twitter this morning, social media, Facebook, etc., and the news to see anything's been said about Stones, but he just wasn't even on the bench, was he? But I thought there was this rule where players weren't being dropped unless they have a bad game or they're injured. So is he injured again? I know there's a piece in was it the Sun newspaper did a massive piece on him. What a nasty man he is by his girlfriend. It's funny, isn't it? He starts to have a good run of games and the press sort of jump on him. But there you go. No conspiracy theories or anything there. I mean, why not Ake? Why Ake, not Laporte? Yeah, I didn't think Ake played that well his last game he played, to be honest with you. So there's no reason why you shouldn't put Laporte back in. Ake didn't play that well to earn a place. So there you go. You had Rodri and Gundogan, which didn't go down well with a lot of people on social media, but it was quite quiet. Most people were happy. I was quite happy with the team. I thought it was okay. We saw Foden. We want Foden in, don't we? And then perhaps we get to see and hear later why Pep doesn't always fancy him, and perhaps we saw a little bit of that last night. But we'll touch on that later when we have our little Pep watch. Referee was, of course, Peter Banks. Assistants Ian Hoosin, Neil Davis. Fourth official was Anthony Taylor. Had a little bit of chat with Pep, didn't he? VAR was Martin Atkinson, and assistant VAR was Stephen Child. Yeah, quickly the match highlights and lowlights. Yeah, I mean, Mendy's hair was certainly a highlight, wasn't it? I have no idea. He looked like one of those, the magicians do the balloon animals and then make a poodle and a dog. He looked like he had one of them on his head, to be honest with you. It was quite interesting. And obviously that West Brom kit, well, I just sort of had to adjust my glasses when I saw that. I thought, well, yeah, and they did actually mention in commentary Melchester Rovers, didn't they? I mean, they used to wear very similar kit, actually. I think they've actually, it used to be sort of basic red and yellow stripes, and then some of the newer versions of it, you had a thinner stripe, a bit like West Brom had last night, so perhaps that's where they got the inspiration from. And yeah, and perhaps it was a bit like Melchester Rovers, the way they played, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, 8 minutes, the first real chance fell to West Brom, didn't it? And Grant should have made it 1-0, but the ball was far too near Edison. Actually, Edison was ready himself to sort of dive to the far corner, if you noticed, but Grant mishit it that poorly that he tried to hit it at the keeper like he must have been watching us in training, that he actually had to adjust and sort of get his arm underneath him, because obviously he expected it, he anticipated it going in the far corner, but obviously it was a poor finish by Grant. And if he'd mishit it slightly worse and he did miss it, it probably would have beat Edison, because Edison would have been totally wrong-footed by that, because he wasn't expecting that. Foden, yeah, I noticed the lino in the first 15 minutes. He gave 3 offsides against Foden, and to be honest with you, I did play back a couple of them, and I tell you, must have supervision, that linesman, because I tell you what, 2 of those decisions were very iffy. He looked as though he was just onside to me, or certainly if he drew the lines on VAR. So I don't know what he was up to. I don't know what he was on the lino, but obviously he must be Superman with his supervision there to spot Foden offside. Not much comment was made, but I wasn't happy about that, to be honest with you. We had poor Mendy efforts, and Rodri's rocket header, didn't we, which dipped limply over the bar, unfortunately. So not such a rock. One of those bonfire night rockets, isn't it? Looks good, big massive thing, and it goes like that and just fades out to nothing. Of course, 30 minutes, we had our main highlight of the game, probably. Sterling did really well, didn't he, and found on the box for once, Sterling again, because he didn't have a great game again last night. On his right foot, he was on the right, placed it back to Gundogan on his right, and he put it in the net, and it was a pretty good, well worked goal, and all credit to Sterling and Gundogan for doing that. At least Gundogan hit the target and put it wide of the defenders and the goalkeeper instead of straight at him, so that was pretty good. 38 minutes was a good little corner by KDB right to the back, but yeah, I mean, Cancelo's one of these again. He's an early man, isn't he? Cancelo, how you pronounce it. I mean, he hit it wide on the volley at the back when he was unmarked from a corner. It was a difficult one, don't get me wrong, but Cancelo is one of those players that isn't. It's a bit like, reminds me of Walker in his early days for City, where he does a lot right, but doesn't quite pull it off as much as he should. I mean, obviously Walker can score the odd goal. We know that, the odd goal, but. Yeah, volley went wide. 43 minutes, yeah, the real low light of the game. I mean, we never really cleared a free kick, and I don't think it was a free kick in the first place, but not much is mentioned about that. I think it was a reasonable tackle, to be honest with you, but we had a free kick against us, and we had chances to clear it. We played head tennis, and very, very messy around the box, and Agay managed to get a shot. He's a defender, isn't he? Managed to get a shot off that was going wide, to be honest with you, and obviously Diaz turned it past Edison. Some people are saying Edison was a bit slow. Perhaps he was a bit more quicker on the reflexes, but you can't really say he was at fault, but he could have been a little bit quicker, perhaps. A goalie in his prime with agility perhaps could have done better with that. But could I? Yeah, of course I could. Yeah. So I don't know. It was just unfortunate, and these goals will happen, won't they? Deflections, etc. That's how it goes, and you have to pick yourself up and start again, don't you? You've still got over a half to go. I think there was a yellow for Cancelo. I think was that to do with the so-called foul that he didn't think was a foul. I think he was having a go at the ref, wasn't he, that led to the goal? Yeah, so I think that's why he got booked at half-time. And I think Aki got booked in the second half as well, but I didn't make a note. But I did see there was 2 bookings, so I think Aki got done for a professional foul, did he, in the second half? Anyway, half-time. 1-1, not great, but City should have moved and settled that. You know, at 1-0, we should have put that game to bed, but we didn't. All credit to West Brom, who worked really hard, and they did deserve to be level at half time. And they weren't actually time wasting that much. I was quite impressed. I mean, Foster used to play for West Brom. He used to take like a minute over every goal kick, and yeah, they did waste time, but obviously not as bad as they have been in the past. Second half, I mean, I did make a comment at the start of the second half. You know, all I can say is straight at the bloody keeper, because it was a frustrating, horrible second half, wasn't it? 52 and 69 minutes. Yeah, the last ones I'm going to do for now. If he ever scores one, yeah, a couple of Rodgers rockets well over the bar. So he had another 2 great, well, not great shots, 2 chances from distance that didn't trouble the keeper one iota. So what's the point? If you're not going to trouble the keeper, what's the point? Foden and KDB had some half chances, including an overhead kick from Foden. Let's be honest, it was never going anywhere. He's never going anywhere in the net. That, I mean, obviously it looked good on the, you know, it looked good on camera if you took a picture of it, but it was never really had a chance with that one. 75 minutes. Well, 75 minutes. I mean, we had Gabby Jesus down on 60 odd minutes. Obviously not 100%, blood in his mouth. Why wasn't he? And I think he warmed Aguero. Why wasn't he brought on then? So he waited till the 75th minute to bring Mendy off and Walker on. Interesting, but I mean, you know, not exactly forward thinking, is it? And Foden off and Mendy off and Walker on. Of course, he brought Aguero on. Also for that one, didn't he? But why so late? I don't understand why he brought him on so late. He left Gabby on, didn't he? He left Gabby on and brought Foden off, didn't he? But Gabby done nothing. I mean, he literally from that knock in the mouth. I don't think he hardly did anything, did he? I don't think. Walker had a great shot from Walker. Another good one from Walker, actually. All credit to him, but it was headed for a corner. We had a KDB free kick saved, wasn't it? It was an okay save, not anything spectacular. And then we had the 93-20 moment, didn't we? Had Aguero in the similar position, perhaps a little bit further out to he was against QPR, and he sliced it wide. So that just about summed it up, really, didn't it? 4 minutes injury time, but enough time to have another 2 fantastic match-winning chances. But did we do it? No, unfortunately, we don't have the players to do that anymore, do we? We had a Gundogan header straight at the keeper who saves. Good positioning by the keeper. We had a Gundogan chance wide on 93 minutes, 94 minutes. We had the Sterling header straight at the keeper. So yeah, I get sick of saying straight at the keeper. I mean, I've got it saved on a template, and I just copy it in every time, because that's all it is. It's dreadful. 1-1 full time. Before we go on to that, ref watch, Peter Bagg, I thought it was okay. He made a couple of he upset Cancelo a bit. So I'm going to give him a benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him 6.5 out of 10. I was marking that Lino in the first half. I would have given him about 1 out of 10. But yeah, Peter Banks, I'll give him 6.5. I'll be kind to him, because it wasn't a dirty game, physical game. He didn't have that much to do. He didn't cock up too many times. So usually, the most I usually give refs is 6, but I'll give him 6.5. Yeah, so I matched some up. Frustration. I think that's all it is. It's like deja vu, isn't it? Time and time again, and we're not able to put a shot or a header just to say 2 or 3 feet wide of the keeper at a time, rather than putting it a foot to either side of him. Can you not put it a yard or 2 sort of round him? I don't understand it. He's not going to save it. I mean, those point blank headers, all right, the guy's getting them on target, which I've always said is half the battle, but it's not going to go in, is it? If it's within a foot of the keeper, we've got, can we not do that? It's just pathetic for professional footballers who are on a lot of money not to just get that extra 2 or 3 feet wide of the keeper every time. I have no idea. So I mean, even if they aim for the far post more and actually, rather than just and missed, and it went, at least they're showing they're trying to get some direction on it, but very disappointing. I mean, the game should have never lost that. Should never have drawn that game at 1-0 down. But it's like watching an old boxer, isn't it? We've got some of the old moves, and you can see some of the trying things, but we don't have that killer punch anymore. We don't have the weight behind it, do we? Too. So it's like watching an old, tired out, haggard boxer that's past his peak, and it is very, very frustrating to watch at the moment. Opposition, yeah, they were all right. Bodies on the line. I mean, that's what they do. That's all you have to do against City, innit? They did venture into the City half, certainly the first half. Second half, they're a bit more pragmatic, a bit more pragmatic and stayed back. But yeah, the keeper had a good game. Not outstanding. It was nothing special. He just made sure he was in the correct position. If he's not correctly positioned, then the ball might go in, but he's putting his body in the right place. He's getting his blocks and he's getting his saves in, which is fair enough, so all credit to him. Yeah, the table, obviously, let's just have a quick look at the table. I've got it up here. Yeah, I mean, Tottenham are still obviously top on 25, so that puts us 5 points behind them on the same games. Obviously, they do play over Liverpool tonight, don't they? But that moves us up into 6 before tonight's games. So there's quite a few. So we're probably back to 8th or 9th by the time tonight's over. I mean, West Brom, yeah, I mean, that, all right, gives them a point, takes them on to 7 points in 19th position, just behind Fulham. So I think I'll do them all right, but, you know, credit to them. And they weren't dirty. I thought they played a good game. They didn't waste too much. They weren't too time wasting. Of course, they're going to waste a bit of time. City would do exactly the same, I'm sorry to say, but that's just how it is. And we'll get on to Pep and his tirade in a minute. But yeah, well, yeah, I think West Brom will still struggle. I think there's the 1 to 4 on to go down. I don't see any difference to that. Match stats: 26 by City with 7 on target. 5 by West Brom with 1 on target. Possession 77% for City. Passes 743 to 225. Pass completion very good. 90% for City, 59% for West Brom. 59%. That's one of the lowest I've seen from an opponent team, and we didn't take advantage of that. Very sad. Fouls 5 by City, 8 by West Brom. Yay, we lost at last. We don't often get less fouls than the opponents. Corners 13 for City. There's 1 or 2 we had a half chance from, but 2 from there. In the air, we didn't look very dangerous. Right, the player ratings, mine and Mr. Bukowski's. Right, Edison. Here we go. A decent save early on to deny Grant, and unfortunate to see Diaz deflect the ball past him for the equaliser. Did appear to beat him in slow motion. Yeah, I know, but as I say, it's jury's out whether he was partly to blame. Anyways, give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 as well. Cancelo defensively not great as he inadvertently played Grant in the box and then gave away the free kick that led to the goal. He was City's biggest threat going forward for most of the game, though. Yes, let's give him a 7. Yeah, but nothing came of it. I mean, I'm sick of this as defenders going forward, and if they're not going to have an assist or score themselves, I'm sorry, it's not good enough for me. I just don't like it. He's given him a 7. I'll give him a 6, which is my standard today. 6 out. I thought it was okay based on his first half display, because I think it deteriorated as the game progressed and started just taking wild shots towards the end when we needed perhaps a bit more build up from him. Diaz uncharacteristically sloppy to fail to clear the free kick that brought the West Ham goal and then diverted it past Edison. Yeah, it's very messy, wasn't it, at the back? Wobbly enough for his place to be under threat for the weekend. So you want to give him a 6? Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5.5. I thought he got roughed up by the West Brom attack when they did attack, and it wasn't very often. I thought we looked very. Is it because he's with that? Perhaps Aki's not used to playing with him. I'm not sure, but it looked a bit dodgy to me. Aki, back in the 11th of First League, starting 2 months, has to share responsibility for the ending of the clean sheet. He does. He's given him a 6, though. I don't like his partner, Diaz. I've only given him a 5.5. I thought he looked clumsy and out of it at times, which if he's not going to be playing every week, probably that's what will happen. So, you know, is that going to be it for his term at City then, unless he plays every week? You know, he's not getting the minutes, is he? Mendy, he wasn't bad, he wasn't great, he failed to make much of an impression at all, apart from wisely getting Cancelo to stop complaining to the referee. Yeah, so just give him a 6. I mean, he's been very kind, Simon, today. I'll give Mendy 5.5, and I just wrote in my little notes, nothing. I just said nothing apart from his hair, yeah. But, you know, that just about sums it up. A bit like Pogba can be at sometimes, isn't it? Rodri, a performance summed up when he had possession with 10 players in front of him and he managed to fall over the ball. So he's given him a 5. I'm not gonna shy away from that. As I say, I know a lot of people think Rodri's underestimated and under sort of many people don't like him basically. But yeah, I'll give him 5 as well. I thought it was pretty awful yesterday. yesterday. Gundogan, this had Chase Gundogan from his earlier years at City, getting in the box on the end of cutbacks to contribute to the attack. So give him a 7. Yeah, I thought Gundogan was all right. He was the best of a dodgy bunch, to be honest with you. So I think, you know, he was my man of the match is going to be, even though I nearly didn't give one, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'll give him 6.5. I'm not going to go mad. I'm not going to give him a 7. I'll give him 6.5. KDB, one of the poorest performances, wasted a number of promising positions with the ball in the final 30. Give him a 5, yeah. I'll give him a 5. He can't buy a goal at the moment, can he? He can't produce that one piece of magic that we need either. Not good enough because at the moment he's our only real magician on the pitch, unfortunately. Sterling restored to the right wing and enjoyed himself, finding space and able to hug the touchline and byline with the ball on his favoured foot. Set up Gundogan for the opener. Yeah, just give him a 7. I thought it was kind for Sterling there. Yeah, I know he did set up the opener, but I think he did enough not very well to actually get just a bog standard 6. I thought his pluses and the minuses gave him a bog standard score. I don't think he was good enough generally. Foden, some nice touches, few dangerous balls into the box, but he struggles to get involved for large chunks of the game. Absolutely. 5 from Simon. I'm going to give him 5.5. But he looked as lost, as aimless as everyone else for most of the game, unfortunately. Jesus did extremely well at preventing West Brom opportunities, unfortunately for him, and the team did not do nearly so well at creating opportunities or offering an ounce of goal threat. It's only give him a 4, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I've only given him a 5, which isn't the lowest of the low, but you know, he does manage 5 with 1 or 2 of the others. But I have no idea why he wasn't taken off after his knock. He probably wasn't right then. And perhaps half time he could have been taken off, but he did have a pretty awful game. So Simon give him 4, I'll give him 5. Simon's rated Aguero as well, but I didn't bother with a rating for that. He was only on for like 15, 16 minutes with injury time, so he didn't get a sniff, says Simon Bukowski. So you give him a 6. I've not marked him. Walker push forward, well on the right with the West Brom defending deep. So he's given him a 6 again. Did he do well? I didn't notice. I'm not rating him. I wasn't on the pitch long enough. And as I said, I'm going to do a man. I nearly didn't. I've done a game where I didn't do a man of the match before, but I'll just about give it Gundogan because you know I'm not his biggest fan, and he did all right in a very bad display overall. So yeah, I'll stick him on. He can have my man of the match today. All right, Pep Watch in his last season, is it? No, Pep Watch till 2023. Probably not. Yeah, we've had quirky Pep, haven't we? Which I like. I like quirky Pep. We've had pragmatic Pep, didn't we, over the last couple of games? So today we had a petulant Pep today, didn't we? Now we're on with the team particularly. Again, the problem is a lack of ideas when his team's out there. And subs, what's happening to the subs? He doesn't do them quick enough. He doesn't use all his subs. His animation at the 4 minutes injury time was fair enough. He explains that after, but probably right based on what happened on the pitch. But that use of energy should have perhaps been used in affecting the boys on the pitch and making changes. Okay, Fergie, because Fergie used to have a go, didn't he, at timekeeping and something like that. But you're not going to change the official's mind at that stage. So I'm just disappointed with his overall. Once the game started, his overall inability. You know, he's not on the pitch. He can't score the goals, but you can mix things up a little bit, and I don't think he did enough. And certainly when Jesus went down in that second half, he was crying to be pulled off at that stage. And just obviously Aguero's he's not confident in Aguero, is he? Or I think he would have been on a lot earlier. So again, why have him on the bench? But hey, I'm only going to give him 5 out of 10. I'm afraid. I thought Pep was 5 out of 10 for petulant Pep yesterday. So I wasn't overly impressed. Pep commented, "You have to win these games. We could not do it. We had the chances, but unfortunately we were not able to score goals, especially in the last 4 or 5 actions that we had. That is the reality. We are able to control that. We are conceding minimum chances. There was one good save from Edison and a deflected goal, but no more than this. We were better in every department. We are creating, but we cannot do it. The players are there. We scored a goal. We struggle for this game with the long balls and the second balls." And this is an interesting one. They attacked on our left side and we could not control it with Benjamin Mendy and Phil Foden. So there, another little dig at Foden there. I have commented recently on his sort of comments about Foden and perhaps why he doesn't trust him and perhaps why. We saw bits of that last night, but I think that's Foden back out of the team then, isn't it? But that was an interesting comment by Pep. Sometimes you need patience. We tried, but it find it's not easy. The second half was better, but we could not score. 10 players defending is not easy. Well, this is what we get at most games, isn't it? I said this is the thing about the timekeeping. I said 4 minutes. There were 6 substitutions, and Gabriel was down for 3 minutes. I expected more, absolutely, but you're not going to get more, mate. That's just how it is. We should have done enough to do it, shouldn't we? Quirky stats, just Dr. Joe. Stats City stuff today. Sergio Aguero has now overtaken Vincent Kompany on 265 games and has joined Joe Hart in second place of Man City's all-time Premier League appearance makers at 266. So Aguero's got 266, Vincent Kompany had 265, so there you go. So he's joined Joe Hart on 266. Diaz's own goal was the first goal Manchester City have shipped in 10 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, I mean, as soon as he said it was 10 hours, I knew they were going to score in all competitions. Giovanni Lo Celso's goal for Spurs in November. Ilkay Gundogan's now scored 3 goals against West Brom for Man City, more than against any other opponent. Ooh, a massive 3, eh? That's not bad. Phil Foden has made his 50th appearance in the Premier League for Man City, and I think it might be a while till he makes his next, based on what Pep said. Some of the headlines on Twitter, just a couple of things. Mike Keegan at Mike Keegan _DM. Not buying this City rebuild nonsense for a second. They've had years to replace an ageing spine, and they, for the most part, made a right pig's ear of it. Well, he does right for the males, so he's not going to be overly positive, is he? Mark James at Marc _J69. I'd play Demi Stokes ahead of Mendy. Well, at least that made me smile last night. I thought I like that. I said she'd probably have a better haircut as well, wouldn't she? Some of the headlines. City's own headlines. City held by resilient Albion. Yeah, can't deny that. The Guardian. Man City malaise grows as after Ruben Diaz's own goal lifts West Brom. It didn't lift them very far. It lifted them on points, but it left them in the same place. But it did lift them psychologically, I suppose. The BBC battling Baggies scrap for a point. They certainly did. Daily Star, Sam defies fuming Pep. Sam, that's the goalkeeper, I assume. The Telegraph, a couple of headlines. West Brom frustrate lacklustre Manchester City to claim vital point at the Etihad. And another headline on the Telegraph, City stumble again as Albion hold firm. They did. So there you go. In conclusion, even the half-glass guys and the happy clappers were not really happy last night. I didn't see many positives. We go again. Of course we do. We go again against Southampton and onwards and upwards. We keep. Well, it shouldn't get too much worse, surely. But yeah, I mean, so even the guys who are usually quite positive weren't that positive last night. We're literally playing games now with no real proper dedicated striker, and we have done for a long time. I mean, say Jesus just doesn't have that ability at the moment, and he's going through a really bad patch, as a lot of our players, unfortunately. Even Aguero, who we know takes time to come back after an injury. He always does, even at his peak. Let's face it, he did take time to get back up to speed. It can't be the answer at the moment because we can't rely on him. So I mean, obviously, you had that QPR type attempt, didn't we? He just sliced it wide where normally at least he'd hit the target. Or he expected it to nestle into the top of the goal, but yeah, he needs time. It's going to be a while before we see anything like the old Pep, anything like the old Sergio, which we're not going to see because he's lost that half a yard anyway. So we need to do something, and it's not going to. Is it not going to happen in January? Bring some old fart of a forward and do something. What'll change against Southampton? Obviously, I'll have a look at that in my preview. I've got a couple of things on my mind, but will Aguero play the full game? Is he ready? Or will it make any difference? But of course, we'll touch on that on the preview that should be out on Friday. I think the preview of the Southampton game. Yeah, good players are looking poorer and poorer as the season goes on. Unfortunately, this is what's happening. Even players that started and you think, oh yeah, he looks pretty good. I mean, he's a great player, but I mean, he looked a bit dodgy last night. I mean, even our good players are getting weaker and weaker, and we're not seeing players either. We're not seeing Bernardo, are we? I mean, the last time he played for City, he had quite a good game. I think the last couple of games he had quite a good game, but we're getting a little bit confused, aren't we? We're not necessarily confused by the starting 11 he's coming up with, but we're getting a little bit confused as to what happens when they're out there and he's willing. And we're getting mixed messages. He's either not making any subs because he wants those guys to make a point to the guys. He's not dropping. Apparently, he's not dropping players if they're playing well, but we know he is. I'm just getting mixed messages all the time, and if we're getting mixed messages, what's the effect on the players? I mean, it must have an effect on the players. I mean, it looked as though Pep getting a new contract will at least give us give us the old Pep back for a minute, didn't it? The old quirky Pep that we like, and players would settle down with it and say, oh, great, he's signed on, we'll get on with it now. But for whatever reason, it's not really working at the moment, is it? And I might just reinstate my Pep's last season watch, because this isn't going to continue for another 2.5 years, one way or the other. Pep won't accept it. I mean, he's not got it in his mindset to accept this sort of thing, so he's not going to accept it. And let's face it, the club's not going to particularly get rid of him. I doubt that very much. I mean, what do you think anyway? I mean, we need a quirky old singing, dancing Pep, don't we, back as soon as possible, or otherwise he will obviously be dancing himself out of the Etihad door Marc's exit, and he won't be pushed, he'll jump, I think. So what do you think anyway? Let me know what you think. There we go. The positives, can't really think of anything positive last night. Gundogan man of the match, but I can't really say anything about positives. Aguero got his 15 minutes, but should have been 30, but there you go. Anyway, that's that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back with that City preview, and please check out my City Pass thing on Joe Royal. There's a couple of parts 1 and 2 on City's Joe Royal when he was a player at City and leaving the club, etc., etc. So please check that out. And of course, that was the week that was. Will be out for this United and this game last night, West Brom. That'll be out in a couple of days as well. So thanks for joining me for this big match review. Whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or you flit over to my TV and film channel. It's Bernard saying, please stay safe, Blues. Bye for now.